Today, I'm gonna show you how to make probiotic lemonade 3 different ways. There are more ways out there, but these are relatively simple and all gut friendly. Plus, I'll teach you how to make your lemonade fizzy if you want. Method 1, Saccharomyces Boulardii Lemonade. I have an entire video on this powerful probiotic yeast and how to ferment it in juice. So check that out for more if interested. This is a beneficial probiotic yeast, as mentioned, not a bacteria. It's well studied for helping during antibiotic use, supporting the gut lining and tight junctions, so great for leaky gut, easing travel-related diarrhea, and helping manage SIBO, candida overgrowth, and gut inflammation. This probiotic lemonade is for those of you who want those benefits and don't want to cultivate a starter. We're just going to use this. And we're fermenting it to create a more potent probiotic dose, so higher counts. Ingredients: 1 capsule of S. Boulardii with the correct strain, which is the best studied, 1 quart of filtered water, and a 1/4 cup of organic cane sugar and fresh lemon, which we'll add afterwards. Here's what you do. Pour your sugar into your water, open up your capsule, dump it in, pop on a lid, shake everything around to mix, and then cover loosely to avoid pressure buildup. Let it sit at room temperature for about 24 to 48 hours. You'll probably be fine because you've given your yeast some sugar with a little bit of minerals, and your water, if it's filtered like mine, but without the removal of minerals, will have some nutrition also for your yeast. However, if you want to really make sure that your yeast gets the nutrition that it needs, you could add something like a medjool date. Just rip it up and throw it in there. None of this is an exact science, but this has worked for me. So experiment and you will figure out the right combination. Once this is done fermenting, this is what you'll have. It looks like something really gross with these brown things floating around in it, but it's just your medjool dates, and it's a nice, did you hear that? Fizzy lemonade, which actually brings me to my last point. If you want to make this fizzy, instead of putting a loose fitting lid on your jar, you're gonna make sure to keep your lid nice and tight. This is gonna trap your carbonation and give you a nice fizzy probiotic lemonade. However, make sure that you burp it every 24 hours at least. So uncover for a second and then screw it back on to release some of that pressure. Otherwise, your glass will explode. And this truly produces a ton of carbonation. All we need to do now is strain and add our lemon. Of all the things that I ferment, this honestly probably gets the fizziest the quickest. Let's taste. Final note on this yeast, it has a bit more of a pronounced taste than some of the other methods I'm going to teach you. So ferment it on the shorter side, like just 24 hours if you don't want to taste that as much, or just add more lemon. Method 2, gingerbug lemonade. If you don't have any clue what I'm talking about when I say gingerbug, I've got a video for you on that. You can make your gingerbug simply with ginger, sugar, and water. This is mine. It's nice and active and bubbly and ready to use to make lemonade. Ingredients. So I'm gonna fill this up with about a 1/4 cup of my gingerbug. I don't ever really measure, to be honest, even though there's measurements on this glass. So whatever that was, probably about a 1/4 cup. Fill up the rest with filtered water, and I'm adding a 1/4 cup of cane sugar. Stir. This now sits at room temperature with a loosely fitting lid for 24 to 48 hours. Optional for fizz, make sure it's a tight fitting lid because that will trap in all of the carbonation. Again, make sure that you burp this every 24 hours to avoid an explosion. Once this is done, which this is, you're gonna squeeze in your lemon juice as much as you want. This is honestly so good. Method 3, water kefir lemonade. Here's my kefir. You can probably see the grains down there and some bubbles shooting up because it's nice and active. All you need to do with water kefir, because it's so delicious as is just pour some in a glass and add some fresh lemon. You will have the most delicious lemonade just like that. But if you want to kick up the fizz, here's what you do. Fill your quart jar with water kefir. We're going to pretend that I didn't already put lemon in this. Then give it a 1/4 cup of sugar to feed on. Cover tightly and now let this sit at room temperature for 24 to 48 hours. The tight fitting lid is going to trap all the carbonation that's going to be produced as the microbes feed on that new sugar. If you notice in 24 hours, let's say, that you're not getting much action, no bubbles, go ahead and add a medjool date for more nutrients. Make sure again to burp this every 24 hours so it doesn't explode. Here's my final result. This looks disgusting, but it tastes really good. Now, of course, add your lemon. That is so good, but so sour. Ooh. All right, so the verdict, though, is that the water kefir lemonade tastes the best and actually has the most probiotics out of all three. So that's my verdict. I hope you make these at home to give your lemonade an extra probiotic health boost. If you have questions, I'll link my water kefir videos, ginger bug videos, everything below, equipment you might be interested in. Remember to eat real food. See you next time. So I'll go, but I know I'll think of you, lemonade, every step of the way.